As you can see from those still shots there at the beginning, I went to eBay. I was just curious. I was looking, came across a seller that had kits. It looked very similar to the Honey Lake and Polybee, with, you know, it was all wax dipped. I just thought maybe again it was another unbranded box of stuff. The seller was fairly local to me, so I got it right away. However, as you saw, the box was cracked open, missing the hardware kit, missing a couple of top bars for frames. Otherwise, the rest of it was there. Now, we're going to go over this box. And I'm not going to say exactly, you know, my first impression of it right now, but we're going to go inside and we're going to go over the pieces and take a look at it. And I'm not going to shame this seller. Actually, I was getting ready to start this video. I had sent pictures and a complaint. They did get back to me right away and told me that it doesn't require hardware, and I kind of laughed at that. I didn't want to fire back and gaslight them and say that, you know, do you think I'm stupid or something? I just told them, no, yes, I own these products. Yes, it does require hardware, and yes, it's missing, and yes, it's in the instructions, because they asked me, did you receive the instructions on how to assemble it? I said, yes. Here's a copy of the instructions, and yes, it's listed. You can see the packet of hardware. The instructions don't tell you to screw it or nail it or get out of here, fly, do whatever. But anyway, it was funny. So I just let them know that regardless of the hardware, which I could care less about, I can go get more hardware. Or I have stuff laying around, but I can't just pull out of my butt a couple of the bars that I'm missing for 2 frames. I'm sure I just joined a bee association Facebook groups. There's people up here in my area, people down below. They have meetings. I'm certain I can contact somebody and find a couple of frames. You know, that I doubt that's going to be difficult for me. Or I was planning on buying some sets of extra frames just in case. You know, it just seems like frames are things that you want to have extra of. So I'm not too totally worried about it. I just want to see how this outfit reacts. So just to say, if you're on eBay and you come across a seller that is selling kits, man, get out of here, flies. And they're selling everything from bee boxes to adult sex toys, it's probably who it is. And unfortunately, when I went back to look at their negative feedback, most of their negative feedback is related to these bee kits. People are complaining that they're showing up broken parts, missing parts, whatever parts, no response. I hadn't been on eBay in forever. I've been around eBay since back in the day when it was a global garage sale and not the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is today. And just forgot everything that you're supposed to do, and that is do your due diligence and check the feedback first. So anyway, I gotta make a lid. Rain's coming. There's I'm calling it my swarm box now. The bee colony that's out that way doesn't really have good protection. Never did. Surprised that the first colony of bees that I kept in it survived like 4 seasons. But I'm gonna try and just put something together for a lid. Got some junk laying around. I've got some aluminum flashing, maybe. I've got some roofing material, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to do something for them that will at least shed the water off the top of it and not allow everybody to get wet inside. And the whole reason why I bought this whole new kit was to put it together over the winter or whatever, set it in the corner, stick a lamp on it, and then next spring I was going to go out there and cut that other hive out and relocate them if they survive the winter. So I wanted to have extra equipment laying around just in case. And of course, you know, if that doesn't work out or I decide not to, is move on to doing splits, walkaway splits, whatever kind of splits, you know, and figure out how to expand. So I gotta get onto this and we'll get to the review of this junk. So when I saw this box show up, I got home from work, of course I'm going to bring it in from the gate, and right away I noticed when I was dollying it inside the yard, one of these was falling out, and I saw how badly ripped open the box was. Couldn't wait, figured I'd bring it straight away, open it up, start counting parts. Now, when I started pulling parts out, you know, it was queen excluder. I started counting things, looking. I had the entrance reducer I found in there, so that was good. Had the inner lid, had the telescoping lid. So far so good. Everything's looking good. Then, you know, count, there's my super 4 sides. My, too deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8 pieces. So far so good. And then I start counting these. So I've got 20 pieces for 10 here, and I got them all laid out here anyway. I got everything here, no problem for the deeps. I saw the plastic foundation in there. I went, okay, well, that's all wrapped up. I didn't even really count it. It looked good to me. I count all the bottoms, and they're all here. And then I count the top frame pieces, and I'm missing 2. And then I also noticed there was no hardware. You know, this was some leftover stuff from the last bit, or the last kits. And then I noticed the instructions different from the last sets, which I have in here. So the last sets were in this kind of format, and then this one came with a thick color plate. And of course, as I showed you, it shows hardware. So I'm like, oh, okay. No, not too horrible, not too horrible. Now, what I want to see here is I want to show you a little bit of a difference. I think the first thing I noticed when I was pulling it out, because this was on top, was I noticed that, in fact, it's even worse than what I imagined. This is all filled with putty right here. This board was rotten. And they have it filled with plastic putty. You know, I could do a better job with that. I've got plastic putty. You can see right there, get the light on it. There's filler. I'm like, okay, well, that's just the lid. That's the outer lid. No big deal. And then the second thing I noticed, and I don't know if I can find an example real quick, picking through these. I mean, these aren't the greatest. I've noticed one of these. It was like somebody got the shakes when they were pushing it through the. They were pushing it through the table saw. It's all kind of mismatched. I can't find it. It must have been on. Is it on one of these? Let me see. Oh, yeah, here it is. I think this was the worst of it. Okay, right here. I think this was the worst of it. It was just kind of bugged out. It's like, okay, we can live with that. And then, when I'm counting these out, they're pretty rough on these cuts. It's like, okay, I guess we can kind of live with that. The bottom board looks okay. Everything's a little dirty, package dirty. And then, I did decide to take a peeky-weeky at the foundations. These aren't pre-waxed. These are bone dry plastic. So I don't know how that affects things. Will they start drawing comb on this? I guess I could buy a little bit of beeswax, you know, and melt it down and get a brush and brush it on myself. If that's what I got to do. I got plenty of time to fool with it. Like I said, I wasn't going to even bother with this until next year anyway. I wasn't really that worried about it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Okay. This is what I thought was funny when the guy said, oh, you don't need any hardware to put these together because they're mortared. Of course, they just go together just like anything else. But I'm not going to push this together. But you notice it's not puree drilled. I don't know what the hardware kit would have been if it was just nails that they were sending to nail these together or not. But these aren't pre-drilled for screws. So I'm assuming, even by the picture, it kind of looks like they're not screws, they're nails. So they're probably going to send me a big old pack of nails and figure it out yourself. But as I was saying, I wasn't really even worried about this until next year. Anyway, we'll just see what they have to say. They haven't responded. And of course, I did notice that the Poly-B brand through Amazon has this kit with 2 deeps and a super, top and bottom, queen excluder, plastic foundations, wax dip, pre-waxed foundations, everything for like $6-7 more. And from the Poly-B package that I received, everything fit, everything was there, everything was pre-drilled, it went together real easy. It didn't have wood putty all over it. And I'm going to eat this. I already know it. I'm going to eat it. And we'll take care of its deficiencies later. As soon as I get any sort of answer from this vendor through eBay and any sort of satisfaction, even if none at all, I'll just leave my feedback and move on. And then I will deal with it. Oh well. But At least you know. Don't go on eBay and buy bee equipment from people who also sell transmission jacks and sex toys. Okay? All right. I know it's a little hard to see. I'm laughing because you new beekeepers, you have to understand that sometimes these colonies, they have different temperaments. And the temperament of this one is don't mess with us. You know, I was out here a couple of times and oh God, right there, go away. All the way across the yard here, I'm getting checked out. Go away. Oh God. All right, okay. All right. Come on. I came to fit that lid a couple of times. Not a problem. No, you know, not a problem. I had some other boards on top of the rock, took them off. Not a problem. I come out here to fit the final fitting, and they don't like me. Come on, and one already almost got me in the kind of tagged me through my glove on the wrist, and now I got this one on me right now, trying to tell me to leave. So I guess the wind's coming in. This storm, oh no, come on, get off of me. She's still on me. All right, I gotta go.